So recently I've had a fair few comments regarding the SM7b being overrated. And to be fair, a lot of those comments were on a video where I showed how you could take an SM57 and kind of make it sound similar to an SM7b. And I understand the SM7b is far more expensive than an SM57. This thing goes for about $700 or so, and an SM57 is only about $100. So you could get 5, 6, maybe 7 SM57s for the price of one of these. But here's the thing, I still have an SM7. Why? Because it's an awesome microphone. And in this video today, we're going to talk about why you might still want an SM7b. Why are they used in studios for recording vocals, and why are they used in podcasting? There are reasons to this, and we'll go over them right now. So the first and probably most important reason that people reach for an SM7b instead of an SM57 is because of its rejection. Now, the SM7b has a much more tight cardioid frequency response, which means that it rejects more from the sides and from the rear any sounds that are going on in your room. Now, that could be other people talking in the case of a podcast, or it could be the reflections of your room. If you are in a recording space that is not acoustically treated, this actually might be a far superior mic choice because of its rejection. Often overlooked is also the frequency response difference of this microphone versus a 57 or 58. The SM7b has a much flatter frequency response in the mids and highs than an SM57 and an SM58, and it also has a much more extended low frequency response going well past the roll-off points of around 100 hertz or so that is found in an SM57 or SM58. So this means that you're getting a much flatter mid-range frequency than a 57, which is known for being characteristically aggressive in the mids, but you're also getting much more lows, which makes this microphone potentially more versatile and more usable on a variety of sound sources. This tailored frequency response actually makes these microphones often more flattering to a human vocal for speech, for things like radio and broadcast and podcasting. So there is a reason why we see these microphones used in podcasting, and that's because they suit the type of application they're being used for. This microphone sounds great on voice, especially for speech. It just sounds like that sound you've heard, that radio voice sound. You immediately get that from using this mic. So it's not just the look that people are going for when they're choosing this mic, it's the characteristics of this microphone and the frequency response and how it responds to the voice. Now, as I said before, in relation to podcasting, if you have many speakers lined up next to each other, a very common problem in broadcasts and in dialogue-centric situations is the spill. If I have someone sitting next to me talking, I need my microphone to reject their voice and their microphone to reject my voice. Otherwise, we're going to have all kinds of problems in editing, and it's going to sound horrible. So this microphone just really negates that problem in the first place. If you think about it this way, even though a 57 and an SM7b are both cardioid microphones, the cardioid pattern is tighter to the microphone on a 7B than it is a 57. So that tighter cardioid response pattern means that it has more rejection and gets far less spill. These microphones also have two different built-in pop filters. I've got the heavy duty one here, but there's that standard pop filter they come with, which makes them better for use once again in things like speech and singing, because you don't then have to worry about plosives or sibilance, and you don't have to put a pop filter up, which might obstruct people's faces when they're trying to talk. I can talk really closely into this microphone without it obstructing my face, but I can get a really nice frequency response without getting plosives and sibilants. Whereas on condenser microphones, I might have to put a pop shield up, which would sit about here and then obstruct my chin or my mouth and kind of looks awkward to the viewer. And it's not just the foam covering that does the filtering. If we have a look here, There is a metal grill around the microphone that also tailors the high frequency response and works to shield some of those plosives as well. The other brilliant part about this, if you have a look, right here, we have this distance. So that head basket over the diaphragm actually keeps you at the optimum distance from the diaphragm as well. So the whole system of this microphone keeps the person doing dialogue at the right distance from the mic to not get plosives or sibilants and get the right frequency response from their voice. Beyond all of those aforementioned things to do with the 7B, it also has a bunch of nifty little features like a shelf boost that boosts the highs and mids of the microphone for more presence in a vocal. And it also has a roll off. So if you want to roll off some of the low frequencies, it has that built in to the microphone itself. All of these things that I've mentioned, the design of the head basket, the design of the capsule, the body, every part of this microphone makes it sound different to an SM57, an SM58, or any other microphone. And that sound is what matters. If you're looking for a podcaster or anyone doing dialogue or speech to have that instant radio sound in their voice, this might be the microphone to do that. If you have a heavy rock or metal vocalist, or even a hip-hop vocalist, this microphone is often reached for because it just has this sound that works for particular genres, especially heavy and aggressive styles of vocals. Especially once you engage the high frequency boost in this microphone, you really start to get more of the attitude that comes into this microphone. And it's quite useful to just dial that in a recording studio by picking the right microphone whilst tracking. There's a reason this microphone is used in studios and in podcasts and in live streaming, because it is simply often the right tool for the job. It has better rejection, a great on-axis frequency response that extends more in the low frequencies, and it can be used in almost any acoustic environment because of its superior off-axis rejection. If you're an artist recording in your bedroom with limited acoustic treatment, or you're on the road recording artists, or you have a multi-microphone setup where you have people in close proximity to each other, the SM7B is probably the right tool for the job. And sure, arguably, it might still cost a lot more for what you're getting in the microphone. But as I talk about in this channel all the time, it is about having the right tools for your trade. And sometimes certain tools cost a little bit more money, but it's worth it to have that tool on hand so you can just reach for it and it will do the job you want without having to worry about things like plosives and sibilants and horrible room acoustics and all those other kind of things that we mentioned today. So there is a reason why people use this microphone and are willing to pay $700 for it. Now, would I rush out and buy 3 or 4 of them? Probably not. But it's definitely useful to have, in my case, one of them for all of the vocal stuff that I do here. And sometimes they're great on guitars, and sometimes it's a great microphone for drums and other things as well. This microphone definitely gets used a lot in this studio, and I'm glad I have one. Anyway, what do you think? Do you love the SM7B? Do you still think it's overrated? Let me know in the comment sections down below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Mitch from the DIYRecordingstudio.com. I'll catch you soon.